working through some bugs. Give us a month or two, we'll be smooth sailing. So don't give us too much of a hard time. So Pat, do you want to start off with our president's introduction?
Great. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to welcome to our October monthly luncheon. Like Austin said, this is our first luncheon with the new board. We're all getting into our new roles. So we're really excited for what we have to come this year. Your boards and committees are hard at work planning and organizing various events, both ASCE sponsored, and we have a couple of other events in our community like this AIA event coming up later this month. And I just want to start by encouraging everyone to find a way to get more involved with the branch. And we do have a new chair with us this year. It's our Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion chair. And I just want you to think about if there are any ways that you feel like you can bring in other civil engineers into our group, help diversify and open us up to just other colleagues that you have in the area. I want to really push you to reach out to our DEI@austinasce.org to see if you have any ideas, to see how we can open up the branch this year. And I also want to plug our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And this is a really great way to see what events we have coming up, especially just like little snapshots, things that have happened, photos that are going, what's going on, and just a little different ways that you can get involved. All right, so after me, we are going to have some updates from the branch, but I just wanted to start off by talking about a couple of events at the Texas section level. CCon was held last month in Frisco. It was an eventful week with lots of well-respected colleagues speaking and many members of ASCE being honored. And we can look forward to next year because we'll be back in our backyard in San Marcos. And before it goes off to other parts of Texas, so I really want to encourage everyone to get involved next September to join CCon. I also want to plug that the Texas section is looking for officer nominations. We have a lot of people involved here in Austin, but there are other ways to get involved, not just at the Texas section, but at the local level. We do need to nominate you for those. So if you're interested, please reach out to some branch members and we'll get those nominations in by November 17th. Another nomination coming up at the Texas section level is the Outstanding Engineering Achievement Award. This award is given to recently completed projects built and or designed in Texas to demonstrate the greatest contribution to civil engineering progress in society. There is more information about this in our branch newsletter, but how great would it be to highlight some projects in the Austin area? So if you're interested, please look it up in our newsletter on the Texas section website, or feel free to reach out to any of our board or committee members here in Austin. And lastly, I want to encourage y'all, if you're looking for those professional development hours, not just to come for luncheons, but also to look into the technical webinars that this section offers. You can reach those at any time on their website. And with that, I want to thank you all for joining us today. We can move on to some announcements.
Thank you, Kat. With that being said, if you have a planned announcement, please come up and line up as we switch through them. First announcement is our ASCE coffee chats. These were started last year and really turned out really, really well for a lot of different folks that maybe can't make it to a luncheon, make it to an early coffee. And so we are continuing those. The first one of this year will be next Tuesday, 7 to 9 at Mozart Coffee Roasters down on Lake Austin Boulevard. It's a real casual, just sit there, talk to our and network with our colleagues. Glenn cannot make it today, so I'm giving his speech about the Civil Engineer of the Year Award. Nominations are open, and nomination forms and instructions are available on our website and the QR code on the screen. Applications will be due by January 6, 2025, and award will be announced at the Engineering Week festivals. Please do not hesitate to reach out to Glenn Goldstein himself. His contact information is there, or anybody, myself or Kat, will be happy to help out. DWRI. EWRI registration is now open for their 19th annual workshop coming up on November 1st. Sponsorships are available. The topic is staying ahead of the curve for their continuing education. It'll be held at the J.J. Pickle Research Center. Feel free to reach out to them at their email or scan the QR code. Nick?
I'm here with Brent today as well, but we have our annual Keeling Engineering Blitz. We have some dates settled down December 2nd and 3rd, so the email blast is going to be coming out shortly. But please get in touch with me ahead of time if you're interested in volunteering, or otherwise be on the lookout for that email blast. It's a great time. We go into their homeroom classes, and it's blitz is the right word because you literally are walking through a middle school hallway after the bell rings, and then you set up a competition, either making a tower as tall as you can or a paper bridge as strong as possible. It's a blast, and it's a great way to give back to the community. So look forward to that. Thanks.
Thank you. Now we got line up. Slide behind. Maybe.
Thanks. Hey everybody, Matt Ball, I'm the younger member director this year. I first want to put a plug out of what the YMF's mission is. YMF's mission is to advance ASCE goals for everybody 35 and younger. So it's not just GIPs, it's not just YPs. We want to encourage anyone 35 and younger to come on out, come participate in our events this year. We have a lot of good stuff going on. With that, our first social event of the year is coming up on Wednesday, October 23rd. We're going to do a happy hour at Lefties, followed by a haunted house at the House of Torment. So sign-ups close today at like haunted houses. Coming out, you don't have to do both. You can come out to just a happy hour, or the haunted house, or whichever you prefer. And then second, not on the slide, but we're going to do a joint tailgate with the student chapter at UT coming up on November 9th. So for the Florida game, I think it's an 11 a.m. game. I'm an Aggie, so I will not be there. But all the volunteers in the house, come on out, come check it out. Would also encourage y'all to reach out to maybe some interns that y'all had this past summer, some of your recent grads, get them involved in some amounts that's already responsible.
Okay, so I want to give a recap on our continuing education conference. Just show of hands, who went, who sponsored it. We have some here. So this was a huge success for us. We had a new menu, new food. We arranged a lot of this stuff ourselves. It has like numbers, so here's a few. Our goal was to fill out the room at a capacity of 100, mid-80s, high 80s, all of our speakers and sponsors and attendees. So pretty dang close to our goal, but financially it was a huge success because of all the volunteering we did in advance to arrange all the food and catering and ourselves to a turnkey operation of the pickle for years past. So it made about $8,400 for the branch after our expenses. So I think that was a resounding success to help fund a lot of initiatives throughout the year. So thanks to everybody who helped plan. We're going to try to do this again in the spring. So if you like the lineup, if you like the topics, if you like the format, we're hoping to beat what we just did this year, this coming spring. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go. You're good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Brian Little. I'm serving as the public relations and community service lead chair for the upcoming year. So excited to announce that we have officially booked out our upcoming volunteering event up to the 19th. That's this upcoming Saturday. And so we'll be volunteering on the community for village. I did want to show off some new swag we got going to all our volunteers out there. So John, you'll plan to get one of these for me. So look forward to that event, and make sure if you are signed up that you bring gloves, bring some sunscreen and water and things like that. But it's looking like the weather's gonna be pretty good for that. And then, if you don't get the opportunity to go to this one, we will have opportunities, coming in the spring to get some more teachers, so stay tuned.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brett. I will be serving as this year's Public Affairs Committee member. So I wanted to let everybody know that we now have an official date for the 2025 legislative line for ASCE. The dates are March 26th to 28th. So it's an opportunity for any member of ASCE. If you have a key contact, but you can reach out to me at Government Affairs at ASCE. And I can more information. This is basically an opportunity to speak with your members of Congress about the upcoming 2025 report card or various infrastructure along with the 2025 Texas infrastructure report card. So if you're interested in speaking on the societies.
Yeah. Thank you, Brett. One thing I wanted to touch on, one of the things this Texas section has been working really hard on for last about 13 months and we'll release in February is the infrastructure report card. So we'll release that before the drive-in, and then we'll also have that in conjunction with the society level report card in March. So the next topic before we jump into the speaker is our Westlake High School team for give a little bit of an overview of their Future City competition that they recently submitted on. So if y'all would like to come in and take over, the floor is yours. You can either move the mouse or press stuff. Okay. So who's starting it off?
I start it off. Hi, my name is Arnon Sridivasa.
My name is Jesse Kopoli.
My name is Arya.
I'm Miranda Shu, and we are Team Ambient from Westlake High School in Austin, Texas.
So just to tell you a little bit about us, our Future City journey started in 6th grade during COVID with the team consisting of Aditya, Ari, and I, with Miss Carol Reese as our educator and Miss Tarina Patel as our coach and mentor. When we first heard of the Future City competition, we were excited to realize that the competition involves creativity, engineering, and innovation.
Our initial topic was building a futuristic city on the move, with the project involving creating a project plan, writing a research essay, building a physical model out of recyclable materials, giving an informative presentation and skit on our city, and preparing for a Q&A session.
In our first years as rookies, we made it to nationals and placed 6th. Inspired by our accomplishments in the field of engineering, we continued on for the rest of middle school, working on a variety of topics such as circular economy in 7th grade and climate change in 8th grade.
From our middle school experiences, we learned an immense amount of skills and worked with multiple engineering professionals. One of the first Future City taught us about multiple things, including project management, engineering design process, problem solving, as well as it helped us develop our research skills, writing skills, public speaking, creativity, innovation, as well as helped us develop our collaboration and gracious professionalism.
In our 8th grade year, we utilized all of our knowledge and made it to the globals, placing top 5. It was incredible to see and learn from so many teams.
Our 8th grade year truly shaped our engineering mindset. As we were more experienced, we were able to go in depth on topics such as that really fascinated us, including power generation, energy efficient architecture, food production, health systems, transportation, water desalination, and sewage.
We even followed up with that year by giving a TED Talk on climate change, writing in an engineering magazine, and teaching younger teams about our Future City knowledge. As the high school year approached, we were ready to hang our hats up until we realized that a new high school competition was just developed.
Through my middle school years, I also participated in the Future City program, but competing with a different team and eventually placed in the major competition. This program sparked my passion for engineering and inspired me to explore my interests. I teamed up with Arnav, Aditya, and Arya for the first ever Future City High School program. We were given the task to research, design, and build the city of the future, but in a completely 3D setting. This past year, our theme was to build a city that runs on sustainable and renewable energy sources and 100% electricity. Our city of Anchor had many futuristic and innovative elements, including a multifaceted program for energy generation with solar panels in space, called the solar system.
This year was a bit different compared to middle school. We were tasked with making a visual VR model showcasing a virtual representation of our city.
One of the biggest challenges we encountered while building the model was that since it was our first year using AR/VR, we didn't have much knowledge about building virtual models, and we didn't have much knowledge about the different platforms that were available. We had to use problem solving and creative thinking, as well as a structured approach to decide how to formulate our model strategy. We additionally used the engineering design process as a tool to help us come up with our solution. First, we had to identify the problems with different models and come up with a list of certain specifications needed for a successful prototype.
For the model, we collectively made a list of 3 essential criteria: how flexible the engine that our model is built on should be, how clean and detailed it looks, and if it was feasible to do in the time frame we had. We each took on the role of searching through different platforms, and we came up with CityVR, Spaces, Unreal Engine, and Unity. We each had to meet up, discuss, and try the platforms before eventually settling on CityVR, as it was moderately flexible, clean, and detailed, and was feasible to do in the time frame we had.
We then started to begin designing our model and started with a clean base where we brainstormed our terrain with the goal of encapsulating the idea of our city, which was portrayed in our essay. We tested out different objects and city structures that could best fit the environment of our location, as well as our electrification solution. After many drafts of testing, improving, and redesigning our city layout, we ended up with the final version from one. Yeah.
Okay.
Go on, Shisha.
After tackling the model, our next challenge was the presentation. For this year, we were tasked with displaying our model while giving a 7-minute explanation on the intricacies of our city, followed up by a Q&A session to further detail our city. We had to record multiple clips using a VR headset and align them with our presentation script. This was also an iterative process of testing, improving, and redesigning.
After an intense engineering process and hundreds of hours of work, we arrived at the International Future City High School competition in DC. It was such an honor being around such motivated and impressive teams who all shared the same passion for engineering. In DC, the top 4 teams gave a presentation and answered thorough Q&A sessions with judges of multiple engineering disciplines.
Additionally, we were even given the opportunity to judge the middle school competition and see how creative and innovative their projects were, coming full circle from the middle school competitions that we competed in not so long ago.
Before we went to the finals round, we explored the marvelous city of DC and toured multiple monuments, historical sites, and museums.
When the time came for the competition, we were confident and well-rehearsed, going in to give our presentation and Q&A to judges, and including the board of Discover E as well.
After an excruciating 3 days of wait at the final closing ceremony, we learned that we are officially the 2024 High School Future City Competition International Champions. The team was awarded $3,500 in cash. Each member was awarded $10,000 in scholarships by NCDS. When the competition ended, you're invited to the Region 32 STEM Ecosystem Community Conference and the ASCE board to share our achievements and for other professionals to share their experiences with us as well.
From years of experience, we learned it is not easy to plan cities, and that there are so many things to think about, construction and zoning, the city services.
We've not only grown as engineers and innovators, but also as leaders, ready to tackle the challenges of tomorrow with creativity, collaboration, and a commitment to a more sustainable future. Thank you.
See if I can get it to work. Sorry, hold on.
We also had a video of our DRC. Can you try to show?
Really putting the pressure on. Uh-oh. 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 One more time. Well, I think it's working now. Yeah, congratulations again. And I think that's obviously a lot of the hard work that y'all did, not only trailblazing your way for a few years, but going back and giving back and judging, helping the groups underneath you. Really good job. Thank y'all. All right. So now we're jumping into the meeting sponsor. David, would you like to come up and say a few words while I get everything switched back over?
You bet. I sure hope y'all were using concrete pipe for drainage in your future city. We've certainly talked a lot about the future. I'm going to talk a little bit about the past. There's information on Rinker the company in your information sheet, but here locally, our Austin plant, we've been under a lot of different flags. Most recently, Rinker. Before that, it was Forterra. Before that, Hanson. For folks whose hair might be a little color like mine, you might remember Jeffrey Hill. And you've really been around to remember the Austin Concrete Works. We've been making concrete pipe in Austin for, I dare say, 80 years. In fact, if you go downtown, and particularly East Austin, you can look at some of the manholes. And the cast iron median covers will actually say Austin Concrete Works. So we have a rich history in Austin and very proud of the product we produced over those years. Concrete pipe lasts a long time. I know we're giving a presentation here in a few minutes regarding TxDOT and one of their projects. Our company Our industry has a very rich tradition of partnering with TxDOT. Very proud of all the various projects we've been associated with TxDOT. Probably the biggest one I've been associated with was 130. That was a very interesting project. The most unique was the 290 I-35 South Austin interchange. That was an actual project that had a 15 by 15 box culvert that was cast in place. TxDOT didn't believe that you could do a precast 15 by 15 box culvert. Back at the time, we were Hanson at the time. We got asked, hey, is this something you could do? We took a look at it, actually made a precast 15 by 15 box culvert, shaved 3 weeks off their construction project for Martin K. Eby. It was a huge success for TxDOT, huge success for us, huge success for Martin K. Eby. And my claim to fame was because of that project, I actually helped get an article written in Engineering News Record. So my name is on an article in Engineering News Record, so I'll be signing autographs. And again, on a personal note, all through my career, I've been involved with the Austin branch, ASCE. I was involved in the University of Texas and learned about civil engineering for the first time. Back when I started with the Austin branch, man, if we had 2 nickels that we could rub together, we were rich at the time. And if we had 30 people at a meeting, that was huge. This branch has so much in the last, dare I say, almost 30 years that I've been associated with it. I'm extremely proud to be a part of it. Y'all all should be congratulated on what this branch has become. With your programs, the quality of people that are participating in this branch, it's just a huge honor and a blessing just to be able to watch this branch grow over the years. So thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity to sponsor. I remember the David was talking about, and David was no small part of making it grow.
I am very proud to announce that David was recently awarded the Lifetime Service Award at CETO last month. So they're not joking when they're saying he's really done a lot, not just for us locally in Austin, but for ASCE. So thank you. I think we're getting our presentation back up.
That's what I think.
Well, thank you for bearing with us, everyone. This is our first launch in the new board. We always have a little bit of a learning curve with this one, so we really appreciate it.
Augustine, I may need to, sorry. Well, it's showing up, it's just not showing up here. So it's extend, right?
Mm-hmm. Extend and then just give it a sec. Let's disconnect the display and try to connect again.
I have.
Please feel free to get up, grab a glass of water, just send it here.
Like froze.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like you're removing it.
Nothing's changing.
Yes. Okay, disconnected. So just reconnect it and then reshare it.
Sorry about that. And we're good online. Are we good online too? All right. Again, apologize for that. Give me a month and smooth sailing. So I want to give the opportunity to present our speaker, Christiana Astarita. Sorry, apologize for that. We have, she is a project manager for the Austin district for the Oak Hill Parkway Design Build project. She has over 20 years of progressive engineering design, construction, project management experience in the major metropolitan areas of Austin, Honolulu, and Las Vegas. Her experience focuses on project transportation mobility solutions. In past roles, included serving as project manager of SH-71 Expressway, also SH-71 toll lanes design build project, as well as managing the Central Texas Regional Mobility Authority local government oversight program for projects and construction. Christiana received a Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So please give her a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for the opportunity to come and speak with you all today. Like Austin said, my name is Christiana Astarita. I'm a transportation engineer with TxDOT's Austin district. And I work in our alternative project delivery group, which is a fairly new group at the Austin district. So let's go ahead and jump into the presentation. There we go. Okay, all right. So the Oak Hill Parkway project is located in Southwest Austin and Travis County. It spans US 290 from Loop 1 or MOPAC at the east end to Circle Drive at the west end. It also includes SH-71 from US 290 to Silver Mine Drive or Fletcher Lane. Altogether, this project is approximately 7 miles in length. This project includes approximately 6 miles of roadway improvements along US 290 and 1 mile along SH-71, which includes fully reconstructing the Y interchange and adding 2 new flyovers to connect US 290 and SH-71 in both the eastbound and westbound directions, extending the existing frontage roads, widening the existing US 290 main lanes, building a new overpass for the US 290 main lanes at William Cannon, reconstructing US 290 main lanes below existing ground level, beginning just east of SH-71, all the way to Circle Drive Southview. We'll also be reconfiguring the cross streets west of SH-71 along US 290 at Convict Hill, RM1826, Scenic Brook, and Circle Drive or Southview to include grade separated interchanges. Plus, we are adding new U-turns along US 290 and SH-71. Also an off-site stormwater detention pond and dam upstream of Williamson Creek. Numerous water quality treatment ponds to treat stormwater runoff, and 14 miles of shared use path and 1.5 miles of sidewalk. The SUPs, as we call them, shared use path or SUPs, will connect with those already built along MOPAC. So so that bicyclists and pedestrians will be able to travel from Circle Drive from Circle Drive all the way to Barton Springs, Lady Bird Lake, and beyond. Just to give you a little bit of project history, this project is over 30 years in the making. In the early 1980s, the need for a roadway project at the Y in Oak Hill was researched. The original design from the 80s covered US 290 from RM 1826, which is within the current project limits, all the way to FM 973 near the airport. The section between Joe Tanner Lane and Riverside Drive was constructed. However, the portion that makes up the current project was halted due to a combination of funding issues, environmental concerns, the state and federal species listing, adjacent land use changes, and especially public input. During this time, discussions and redesigns were taking place to address the concerns with the project that TxDOT was proposing. TxDOT converted the intersections of US 290, SH 71, and US 290 and William Cannon Drive to continuous flow intersections, or CFIs, and that was to improve traffic throughput in the area. The big gap between the DEIS and FEIS is due to folks trying to slow down the project and the need for TxDOT to evaluate different designs. And then finally, a design was created that satisfied the majority of concerns, and construction was able to move forward. Construction is anticipated to be completed in mid-2026. Substantial completion date is May of 2026. Okay, so the population of Travis County has increased roadway congestion, which has caused a decreased level of service and increase in travel time throughout the US 290 SH 71 corridor. The US 290 SH 71 corridor reached its capacity back in 1995, and the Texas Clear Lanes Initiative exists to address gridlock for Texas drivers statewide, and the Oak Hill Parkway project has been included as a critical project to address congestion. The Oak Hill Parkway project is, like Austin mentioned, a design build project, and this slide shows you who TxDOT has partnered with. So Atkins Realis is our general engineering consultant, or GEC, and they assist TxDOT, myself and my deputy project manager, in the design and construction management oversight of the project. Atlas, formerly Pavtex, is our owner verification, testing, and inspection firm that perform material sampling, testing, and inspection oversight. Our design build contractor is Colorado River Constructors, or CRC for short. It's a joint venture comprised of two very experienced design build firms. One is Floor Enterprises and the other is Balfour Beatty Infrastructure. AECOM is the design engineering firm that they contracted for the design. And as you can tell, if you've driven out that way, we're quite past the design phase. We're well into construction, over halfway through construction now. And then lastly, Robert Kistner performs independent quality assurance and works on behalf of both TxDOT and the contractor. Our groundbreaking ceremony was held July 1st of 2021 with TxDOT and local officials, as well as representatives from area first responders and the general public in attendance. The original design of the Oak Hill Parkway project changed from a typical freeway design to what is currently being constructed. So public input provided meaningful changes to the project design, such as all of these listed here, the separation of through traffic from the local traffic, reducing the elevation of US 290, SH 71, the interchange there, reducing the project's footprint where possible, limiting the impacts of trees and preserving several iconic oaks, enhancing best practices for water quality and flooding concerns, also mitigating impacts to karst formations during subsurface construction, and of course adding bicycle and pedestrian accommodations. Now let's look at some of the features of this project that make it so interesting. So here you can see a nice list. CRC is responsible for protecting and preserving, like I just mentioned, a specific group of iconic trees near the William Cannon intersection, as well as multiple trees and what TxDOT identified as tree preservation areas. And then in addition to that, we got the contractor to commit to preserving additional trees that were not going to be in conflict with their final design. The project boundaries include portions of the Edwards Aquifer contributing zone and recharge zone. It's in a very unique area. This means that karst features are present, and this requires TCQ coordination to mitigate those voids in the limestone. We have Williamson Creek that crosses the project in 4 locations at SH 71, Opie Caves Road, William Cannon, and US 290. With the completion of our project, Williamson Creek will run parallel to and in between the US 290 eastbound main lanes and westbound main lanes in that area from SH 71 to William Cannon. TxDOT also acquired all right-of-way rather than turning it over to the contractor, as was typically done in design build projects. We decided to take on this risk ourselves. We had possession of all new parcels months ahead of construction. TxDOT coordinated with Austin Energy on the relocation of a very large transmission line in the area of William Cannon on the north side of 290 prior to construction. And then kind of scrolling down here, Austin water wastewater adjustments are included in the contract scope of work. We're just about finished with Austin water work, so it's taken us nearly 3 years to do utility work. We have a little bit of water relocation work on 71, as well as telecommunications. It takes quite a while to get through those. The project, like I said, it includes a whole host of other utility relocations. Those are being handled by the contractor. You'll see, or have, if you've already driven through there lately, you've seen that those continuous flow intersections or CFIs gone away. And in the future at the interchange, there will be a SPUI or single point urban interchange. There will be stacked main lane and frontage road bridges between Opie Caves and William Cannon. Again, we've opened up the westbound frontage road between just east of William Cannon all the way to 71. So if you get the chance to drive through there, if you haven't already, it's pretty cool. It's kind of like driving through a tunnel. See the trees, which are the creek on the left-hand side, and the NXP facility on the right. Flooding storage will be provided, like I mentioned, at a large upstream and offsite detention pond. And I'm told that it's only second, it's the TxDOT second dam to be added to their system. So it's a pretty cool feature. Here are some additional project features, and I'll talk more about and touch on these, touch on some of the concerns from the past and how they were addressed. That you can see we've got lane stacking, tree preservation, maintenance of traffic phasing, lots of bridges and excavation, environmental protection, noise and dust mitigation is huge. Keep the public happy, lighting and illumination. So lane stacking, in order to reduce the footprint of the roadway between William Cannon and Opie Caves Road, we are stacking the main lanes and frontage road. So in this stretch, the available width is restricted by the cliff face to the south and Williamson Creek in the middle, and then private property, that NXP facility property to the north. And they have a pond that borders there as well. This image shows the construction of the westbound lanes. The lower bridge construction is for the frontage road and the shared use path. And the taller supports will hold up the main lanes of traffic. We intend to preserve the oak in Oak Hill between the iconic oaks and the tree preservation areas designed into the construction plans. Over 300 trees are being maintained on the project. Dedicated staff arborist has been active during construction since procurement, and this allows the arborist to have an awareness and a relationship with the trees in our corridor and provide a better rate of success in with the conservation efforts. And there's some pretty steep LDs associated with those iconic trees. Let's see here. There are 6 iconic trees near William Cannon that have been incorporated into the design, and they've been given names by the community. So you have the 3 nieces there are right at William Cannon. Actually, they're all at William Cannon. The 3 nieces, the grandmother, grandfather, and then the Beckett Grove oak, also known as the Taco Bell tree, which was relocated from across the corner where a Taco Bell used to be. Let's see, these trees were identified early on to allow the team to consider how best to construct the project around them, such as the distance needed to preserve their canopies and root systems. In the case of William Cannon, we shifted the roadway around the trees instead of removing them. Wanted to touch on this is a little bit interesting as I'll get into some maintenance of traffic here in a little bit. Roll plots have been traditionally been hard to use in the field with having to roll up the printed versions and then hope that they don't blow away. With the incorporation of iPads and other digital viewing devices, viewing larger sheets is easier out in the field. Layering of phased construction in digital files, such as with the traffic control plan, allows for faster comparative evaluation of the phases, which can lead to schedule gains. Also, there is less of a chance for critical information to be hidden by repetitive information on each separate sheet or obscured by cut lines. And then going a step further, the plans can be exported into GIS and viewed on a GIS viewer on a digital device. Okay, so going a little further into TCPs, here's the intersection of US 290 and William Cannon. You can see the iconic oaks indicated in the image here. So now let's see how we move the roadways around them. So one of our mandates for construction is to keep 2 lanes of traffic open in all directions at all the major intersections. So lane shifts and partial closures were used to move traffic around while the roadway transformed from its original configuration into the current configuration. We have done this successfully by using detailed TCPs for each phase of the construction. And then these are also referred to as maintenance of traffic or MOT sheets. So in this image, and a view to follow, the green lanes indicate new roadway and pink indicates new bridge work. In this case, the new William Cannon Bridge and future 290 westbound main lane bridge. So we started by working around the existing roadways. Here the orange shows temporary pavement we used to build up the intersection prior to shifting onto the new alignment. Once the new alignment was ready, we shifted traffic onto the newly constructed roadway and began demolition of the old alignment. The switch allowed us to build the rest of the bridge work while allowing traffic to flow. And then the eastbound main lane bridge still needs to be constructed to the south, but you can see all the different phases that we have to go through to move traffic around in order to build project. If you would like to see the physical representation of the plans, we just looked at, here are those same steps as seen from above. So you can see the progression from December of 2022 all the way to just a couple of months ago. So 4 bridges on the project. On the east side of the project, there are bridge widenings of US 290 over existing crossings at Old Fredericksburg Road or Harper Park Drive and Monterey Oaks, Industrial Oaks Boulevard. And that's to increase highway capacity for everything that we're adding to the west. And then on the west side of our project, we have bridges for the cross streets that used to be signalized intersections with US 290. So the picture on the left is at the east end of the project, bridge widening, and the picture on the right is at the very west end of the project. In the center of our project, we have unique bridge configurations for westbound US 290 frontage road at William Cannon, like I've already kind of spoken about. Also at OB Caves Road, and then there's bridges over these bridges for the westbound US 290 main lanes. So on the right, or on the left, like I mentioned earlier, this is the new westbound frontage road that opened up a few months ago. And what's on top is going to be that new westbound main lanes going over top. And something similar will be on for eastbound traffic on the south side of Williamson Creek, for not as long of a distance, but you'll still have this effect. And then on the right, the construction crews performed a triple crane pick during construction for the main lanes bridge, using 3 cranes in unison to lift that really heavy rebar cage into place. Let's see here. So there's been a lot of wall construction, especially as of lately now with a lot of utilities moved out of the way. Every type from retaining wall to support the new lowered main lanes and frontage roads to sound walls, which help mitigate noise for the neighborhoods along US 290. Some walls are built out by our crews, others are prefabricated elsewhere and installed on site. In-short walls are used throughout, oops, click too soon. Yeah, they're used throughout the project when we need to either raise or lower the roadway. So the photo on the left-hand side is right outside the project office. And there's several walls here. You can see the sound wall at the very top in front of those apartment buildings. And then we got cast in place wall, we got a soil nail wall, and this is going to be a ramp here. I guess you can't see my cursor. Going up to meet the new crossover bridges at 71, the interchange. And you can see the crews, how they install those sound wall panels. The US 290 main lanes on the east side of the corridor transition from an elevated highway with bridges to a lowered one under the cross street bridges to the west. We are using large milling machines to remove 2 million cubic yards of material to excavate for those lowered main lanes. And just a fun fact, if we stack that on a city block in downtown Austin, we would have a 60-story tower of stone. So it's an enormous amount of earth movement. So why are we elevating the US 290 in the east and lowering it in the west? Well, no pun intended, it's Falcone's fault. The fault line runs along the border of the recharge and contributing zones of the Edwards Aquifer. So we are excavating in the contributing zone, which is comprised of hardened rock layers and precipitation sheet flows over the surface. So near the fault line, rainwater enters the recharge zone where it rapidly drains into the aquifer, which is why we are keeping as much roadway structure above ground as possible. In that recharge zone, there are karst formations, which are one of the key environmental concerns organizations like Save Our Springs Coalition had about the original project. The Edwards Aquifer is an environmentally sensitive area that supplies drinking water to the residents of the area, and is also home to endangered species like the blind salamander. So here's some pretty cool photos of some unique equipment that we're using on the project. Our contractor has chosen to select here, decided to utilize for cutting through the limestone rock. So a couple photos show a rock trencher on those first 2 photos. Those are used to digging trenches, and they even use that to dig for the foundation for the sound wall that I showed you in the picture before, up against those apartment buildings. Used to trench for a lot of utilities. The milling machine, we have, I think, four of these milling machines on site, and they're just going nonstop. Just really pretty cool to see up close. And they go really slow, but they turn out a lot of cutting through the rock. Just wanted to kind of highlight this. This is the big part of the project. So even though we are staying above ground with the roadway, we still have to install those substructures required to build the road and bridges. So to mitigate the concerns of working in the areas with karstic features, a procedure was developed in coordination with TCEQ for the Oak Hill Parkway project. And all excavations and drilled shafts in the recharge zone are checked for karst features visually or using cameras. So whenever a karstic feature is discovered, work is halted. There's a project geologist that is notified and comes out to the site, and TCQ is also notified if environmental mitigation is required. From there, the DB contractor, TxDOT, and TCQ all work together to develop a plan to proceed. So these images show a couple of examples of mitigation plans where the contractor and design engineers are using a combination of chain link fence mesh, filter fabric, slab bolsters mounted to the outside of that steel reinforcement cage as a cast in place for the sensitive zones. So those will be covering up in those areas. You can see this the photo in the middle that was obviously at the end of the drilled shaft, the bottom. I think that matches the that matches the detail there on the far left. And then the photo on the right, that was of a different sensitive feature, more kind of in the middle of the drill shaft. So before anyone can set foot on the project, they have to go through environmental training covering this topic regardless of their role. Some information about Williamson Creek. So Williamson Creek flows through the project with 4 major crossings, like I mentioned before. The proximity to the highway has posed risks in the past, specifically at the low water crossings. There used to be 2 at Obi Caves. That was the more concerning one for City of Austin, and then there was one at Joe Tanner. So the Oak Hill Parkway project is raising all of US 290 and SH 71 out of the floodplains that were determined by the Atlas 14 evaluations. There are 8 water quality ponds in the project that are designed to exceed TCQ and Edwards Aquifer requirements. And then 6 of which are actually in a TCQ pilot study for sand filtration and biofiltration. And then lastly, riparian work is planned along the creek near the end of the project. So in areas where we've had to excavate for overbank mitigation, we'll be planting back, plants, shrubs, and trees that will be able to withstand some of the future water, future flooding. And then until then, best management practices are installed in and along the creek to prevent suspended solids from the project from impacting the creek. So I don't know if you can see kind of in the picture, you see the creek sort of in the middle. There's a line of, and I'll show you on the next slide, concrete barrier. This is a best management practice system that's been used on this project. It is what is called linear creek protection. And we've used this to channelize the creek and create a hard barrier between it and the work. So the combination of concrete barrier and silt logs and fencing has been pretty successful. You can see the detail there too. Flood concerns from Williamson Creek have been a public concern for a while. Some new data about rainfall in the state with the adoption of Atlas 14 necessitated a restudy just prior to the design phase of this project. This was significant to verify we would protect the public from flooding. One flood mitigation strategy we are employing in the project is the construction of one of the first dams for TxDOT, like I mentioned. And it's a little bit hard to see. You can see up at the sort of the top middle of that aerial imagery. It's TxDOT has acquired the land as part of a drainage easement for that offsite detention pond. And then towards, I wish I could trace this out. You can see like the yellow, green, red sort of colors down below. That's the area where the dam is going to be built downstream. And so we worked closely with the city of Austin to design and plan maintenance of the dam. It is located away from the main roadway. This is located off of Old Bee Cave Road and Fletcher. And like I said earlier, yeah, the purpose is flood control and reduction of potential impacts to the project. And we are also raising the roadway at the old low water crossing, so the driving public will avoid the potential risk. Here is a picture, plan view of that offsite detention pond. I wanted to grab a better picture or plan view of this to show you where the dam was going to be going, but I couldn't access the system to be able to pull the drawing. So flood storage will be provided at a large upstream and offsite detention pond, like I mentioned, off Old Bee Caves Road. And this is to ensure the project does not result in flooding impacts. So the dam is to be constructed at the if you see that little lake coming off Old Bee Cave Road up at the top. L-shaped in that configuration. And then with this work, we're having to actually do some wastewater relocation. We found out just prior to bids being due that there was an existing Austin Water wastewater line that runs right through the middle of our dam. So CRC is having to address that ahead of the dam construction. So the project includes 3 sound walls to mitigate noise to local residents. During construction, we require construction vehicles to use white noise backup alarm systems at nighttime hours. Also for controlling air pollution, CRC uses water trucks to mitigate dust, and they've even gone above and beyond this requirement and are utilizing air quality monitors that are mounted around their concrete batch plant, which is located within the TxDOT right away in the middle of what will be the future main lanes west of Army 26. Some other interesting features of the project. So this next generation concrete surface is being incorporated into the final concrete pavement surface. This utilizes conventional diamond grinding to establish a controlled uniform profile. It'll provide a smoother and quieter ride, and I'm told it reduces noise by 6 to 7 decibels. Asphalt pavement is being recycled for use on other roadways. This reclaimed crushed material offers the same durability as pavements constructed with 100% virgin materials, while saving energy and diverting waste from landfills. And according to the USDOT, Federal Highway Administration, more than 81% is put back into highway use. So there's, like I just mentioned, there's on-site concrete batch plant as well as a plug mill that's utilized close to the project, and so that also reduces truck trips, therefore reducing emissions and increasing roadway safety. The roadway luminaires have a 0 upward light rating. Our design aims at lighting the pathways and nothing else. There is no high mass lighting in the corridor beyond where it already exists at the Mopac intersection. But there has been, we've installed quite a bit of lighting from the east end to William Cannon. There has been a strong desire from the Oak Hill community to prevent light pollution as much as possible. So we had many community members that had contacted the project to request TxDOT follow dark sky initiatives. The community wants lights that are closer to the amber lights from traditional high pressure sodium light bulbs. Those similar to what I believe existed over at the Mopac intersection, and then further to the east was more of a yellow amber hue. We found that we can accommodate a change while maintaining the illumination requirements for the roadway. So we are going to be implementing a lighting change west of William Cannon. Going to keep all the lights we've already installed east of there in place. This also shows you the SCP lighting was designed, like I said, with minimal backlighting, same light both day and night. And so it focuses on the paths and minimizing intrusion elsewhere, and that's shielded with a 0 upward light rating. just wanted to share, I think these are always good to show a presentation sort of before and after photos. It's kind of eye-opening. But this is US 290 at SH 71 before construction. This is looking towards the west. And here's what it looks like as of a couple of months ago. You can see the new bridge structure to the right where OB Caves Road is. That'll be the westbound frontage road tying into SH 71. We got existing traffic still flowing in the old US 290 alignment there, flowing eastbound. But we've got new eastbound frontage road, bridge structures, pavement, and we're digging a big hole here now. This is also during construction this last month. There's some new pavement down kind of bottom right there. That's going to be where the future westbound main lane traffic will touch down and then go under the SH 70290 intersection, where it's going to be depressed. And similar to what you see at Mopac and 290, we'll have 3 levels. Main lanes will be depressed. You have those cross street bridges for local traffic and then the flyovers. And this is our plan, US 290 to SH 71. This has been shown quite a bit at public meetings. Also keeping that same perspective. And kind of see how things are shaping up. This is Circle South view and that intersection at the very west end of the project at the beginning of construction. We opened the new bridge in September. And the temporary intersection that we have further to the east near Thunderbird Road will be going away here soon. Here's a nice rendering. We've got several renderings for the project. Here's the planned intersection of Circle South view. So you can see the new bridge going over the main lanes, frontage roads. Scenic Brook Drive at US 290 before construction. Scenic Brook Bridge open just this month. See the depressed main lanes. Contractor was able to get in here. We put it in 180-day closure on Scenic Brook crossover, and they were able to come in under with like a month left. So they were able to fast track that. And you can see so this is looking towards the east, and that's the new eastbound frontage road on the right and the westbound frontage road on the left. Something else that's cool to point out here is drone usage for the project. So aerial imagery is great for websites, public communications, and presentations like this one. Another use is to gather aerial footage that can be included as a layer in GIS viewer of the project. So for Oak Hill Parkway, the contractor regularly updates the aerial imagery available to their field personnel. And combined with the line data from the design, superintendents and inspectors have an easier time confirming the work on the ground is matching up with the design. So gathering survey information and calculating quantities of fills or cuts are also improved with drone usage. Photogrammetry allows for 3D models to be created based on images captured by the drones, and volumetric values can be calculated from that data as well. And then coming up on the end here. Amazing advantage we have at Oak Hill Parkway. We all occupy the ACC Pinnacle Campus building out there, and we have all 10 stories available to us, but we only take up half the building. It's just the TxDOT, GEC, OVTI firm, like all that I mentioned in the beginning of the slide, along with the contractor, all co-located. But yeah, having the management, designers, inspectors, and construction crews all working under the same roof encourages communication between all the groups and generates efficiencies that are much more difficult to attain on projects with split offices. So that face-to-face interaction help with collaborative problem solving and is a large component of why partnering on this project has been so successful. Just being all together, and we have regular, this was, I think, from the CRC's annual safety banquet. They like to celebrate their crews. I think this was 2 million man hours on the job or something like that. So it's pretty incredible to see. It's yeah, it creates a good camaraderie. And then with that, that closes the presentation. Just want to mention lastly on this slide, I'd like to point out our project website at the bottom there. It's been our project website since just before procurement, but it's going to be going away as of tomorrow. So if you want to go there, please, by all means, you'll need to jump on it right away. The reason for that is we're going to be migrating to a different TxDOT website with so where you'll still have Oak Hill Parkway information along with other TxDOT projects. So they wanted to consolidate all of TxDOT projects all together. So, but yeah, it's been a really unique and good website to have for the public. So with that, thank you so much. I'll open it up to any questions.
A few minutes over, but I think we can take questions. So
I'll throw them out there. Can you briefly describe the pilot program for the water quality farm?
Oh, I'm not a drainage engineer by any means, but I can get you more information later on it. We could get back together.